Nice. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, nice. Okay, so yeah, you guys have come together, brought or kind of had a few uh, powerful people join your little crusade here, and you're finding out some very disturbing things, like uh, these imposters are eating the flesh of whatever god they think it is. Uh, Somehow this seeker, whoever it is behind it all. Um, you've gotten names like Seeker Bellman, uh, the Radiant, and Brightness. The upper echelons of the clergy seem to be involved. Um, yeah, you find the urchin, you get the journal, and are able to decipher it, and it has a variety of things that you kind of already seem to have concluded on your own. But I guess this is like confirmation. Like you get the names of the vanished people, like uh, yeah, people that the clergy has basically silenced, and then you know their blessing, their power is coming from something else. At least as per Eliza, uh, there's something happening beneath the the temple, and yeah, lots of money is involved as well somewhere, and um, a little bit of a map that leads you in one of two directions. One goes through like a sewer network, and then another one uh, goes into like the undercroft of the temple and is a more straightforward entrance. But yeah, it's all underground at the very least. So with all of this knowledge, equipped with what you have so far, the promises from some of the faculty of the Arcanum, or at least Elise, uh, to also better equip you with real equipment. Um, yeah, you guys have, I think, a pretty straightforward idea of what you're going to do, but not a super straightforward idea of what awaits you there. Um, yeah, yeah. Okay. Yeah. Oh, okay. Do you disclose the amount? Like, because there's an amount that is listed in the journal, which is like 500,000. Yeah. And yeah, and I shoot, did, was yeah, and the faculty members, at least, um, because she's kind of more like, as the secretary of the university, she's more the PR team. So she has a bit more of a knowledge about, like, you know Amberin as a whole, and so she starts just like listing names, and it's like it could be and almost, well, not anyone, obviously not everybody has just 5,000 gold lying around, um but if somebody were to have that kind of disposable income to just, I guess, consult for whatever, then we could be talking about a select few noble families. We could be talking about any number of merchants. We could be talking about, it might not even be somebody in Amberin. Um, the Possibly, that's a very good question, and I'd very much like to know myself. I don't have any solid answers for you. Um, but well, but perhaps when we go meet this seeker, perhaps we can get some answers from him or find more information somewhere. 5,000 gold is a lot of money. So that that is more than the average person might see in their lifetime. So it's a concerning amount for sure, and that it was put towards something so mysterious and underhanded, um, and something so obviously corrupting, um, concerns us a great deal. You're looking at a list in the hundreds, perhaps. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. The list is much smaller than the population of Amberin, but it's still a large list, and yeah. Are we talking about? Are we talking about Giobaldi or MacGuffin? Okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yes, yes. Please tell me more. Like, where is it going to be? What time? Yeah. I mean, it seems like we want to go do this soon. Um, and so Seeker seems like an inevitable encounter. I guess much sooner than, say, going to find your very clandestine friends. Catacombs. And I believe I have some gifts I should be handing out. Um, to be fair, this was limited pickings. Grabbed what I thought might be useful in the moment. Um, so I have a ring of mind shielding. You can give that to whomever you wish. Was able to also pick up a ring of protection. Um, since we are doing some sneaking, do you have an elven cloak? Should anyone want to take that? And this just seems good in almost all situations, scenarios. But a wand of fireball. So what? Yeah, yeah, exactly, precisely. Oh, you know what? Here, hang on. It's probably something I'm gonna because I really like these magic items. I'm gonna look for something else here. Yeah, sorry. Yes. Yep. What? Oh, okay. Oh, dang. Dang. I think that's what it's called. Yeah. Um. And then she also produces a vibrant purple prism. She hands it over very almost reluctantly because she's like, "This particular one is mine, um, but this is an Ioun stone, and it is a stone of reserve. So you can cast a number of spells into it. This is for typically more preparation, and you know, take a long rest. It'll keep the spells, and you have more spell slots theoretically. It can store a moderate number of spells. I, if we're talking spellcraft, then anything from like levels 1 to 4 up to an accumulated level of 4. So, you know, two secondary spells or two tertiary spells, or one tertiary, one. Yeah, you get the gist. Um, yeah. Well, yeah. You'd only be able to store one, but yeah. So, uh, I did think to prepare a few spells. One that well, let's just call this one a hunch that I had. But there is a spell of banishment in there. If yes, like consider this the contingency of contingencies. If we're not unable to put this god back where it came from, um, or so help me, uh, then perhaps You might be able to. Right. Yes. It is very pretty, isn't it? I think Cobb is the squishiest. And it shrinks to size. Yeah. 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 It's like when the ghost possesses Stump, you know? That actually, yeah, yeah. You'd have to put it on. It's what? Hello? Is there anybody out there? Well, out of this ring, stupid. So is that a yes? Oh, thank God. Thought it was me for a second. It's. Oh. Hmm. That's a bit concerning. I thought the ring was empty, but. Oh, Folion, is somebody talking to you that is not in the room? Okay. Can you ask what year it he she it whatever thinks it is? That's dumb question. I mean, like, isn't it? There's a long pause. Like, it's like 80 past dawnbreak, right? 206. Yeah. No, I would have missed my exams by that point. well, well, that's obvious, but wait, wait, what is so it hmm like there's just like a long series of just kind of like hems and haws like it's quickly becoming tragic. what Yeah, I mean my name was is is um it's been a long time since anybody's asked me that, so uh um right, and you kind of forget. It's normal, totally normal. um uh well, lucky you. It is definitely definitely like Sergio, uh, like Giants Bane. Yeah. Yeah. Definitely my name. Obviously, because I like it so much. It's got to be my name. oh, well, that can't have been healthy for him to be in the ring for so long. Is it a him? Does it sound like a him? I mean, sir. Okay. Uh, Also seems like he's forgotten his name, so 120 years inside of a ring of mind shielding is not healthy, obviously. Um, so, hmm, yes, just lessons abound. Um, okay, well, I can go back through our records at some other point in time. It seems he is harmless at the very least, if perhaps a little distracting. Uh, yes, a paragon of focus is our Folion. Uh, I will have to search through our records for a Sergio Giantsbane, even though I think that that is not what I'm going to find. So, there aren't. We try to minimize missing students, but students do go missing sometimes. So, yeah, I mean, it was totally given to me. I did not sneak into our uh, whatever they call the treasury. It would be probably more or less like a how would you call this, like a a materials lab kind of a thing, or something along those lines. I only borrowed it for practice, and then like I think I fell out of a window or something. I can't remember. Okay, well that does narrow it down some, so we at least know that we're looking for a deceased student. So, well, yes. So Folion, yeah, Folion. If you were to perish, were this ring empty, you would then be sucked into it, so to speak. Your your soul would inhabit the ring, since it is currently occupied. You don't have to worry about that so much. Just the dying part. So, it is very much a treasure because it does have a soul in it, which we must attend to at some point. Um, no doubt, yes. And perhaps uh, when you go back home, um, well, you won't have this ring anymore, but should you acquire another like it, then yeah, that might be something that you can establish there. Indeed. Um, okay. Apart from this distressing discovery, anything? Are we all set to go? Let's see. It's like a the equivalent of a chihuahua growling, just like yeah, yeah. Ladies, ladies. Um, perhaps this should go to Folion to safekeep. She like raises her hand in the air. It's like no, no, no. Um, it it is fitting. Yes, Aerith, this is for you. She says. Um, I do want that back. Yes. Uh, yes. No, I'm saying it for the benefit of others in the room. So So, so fun fact, Ioun stones are numerous. Some are rarer than others, but um, it is possible to be able to enchant these for yourself at some point. Yes. Yeah. Yes. Eventually, you. Yeah. Our we have amazing faculty that, um, well, uh, Professor Pellegrath will happily guide you through this process eventually. I believe so. So it's like a just an hour basically. Yeah, like Cobb has to attune to his. Um, I don't believe so. You can do two in 1 hour. Oh, the wand of fireballs does require attunement. Yeah, but it has 7 charges. So, yeah, yeah, yeah. So you can use like, yeah, 10d6. Yeah, why not? Yeah. Okay. So let's. Yeah. So you go down, collect the rest of your entourage. Yeah. So uh, Rendeef, Orndale, Inspector Brumt, and Radin Steinerbrook. There we go. And Carl is there. I remembered him this time. Yeah, he just gets left behind because it's like I'm actually okay with this. Okay. Well, Cobb obviously volunteers himself. Yeah. Um, Radin's got hit points to spare. Brumpt is Inspector Brumpt is probably going to stay behind a little bit. He's probably not going to be in the fighting. Yeah. Uh, yeah. The other mages, they have their own things going on, so they've got things that they're doing or can do. Um, okay. Cool. Uh, all right. So going off of your previous plan, then you are taking the catacombs route, like through the decrepit entrance, right? The that is within like Gutterkin territory. So that's going to take you into the sewers, just about pretty much, and you're going to be traveling into well, hmm. Actually, that's a good point because you're not exactly. Yeah, you're not exactly sure how to get to that point per se. Um, as far as you're aware, there's not like an immediate sewer access near the temple, so you might have to travel from some other point to get there. Um, Now you could find a location, an access point near enough, and then just kind of use your sense of direction to get where you're going. But that, that's up to you how you want to choose to do that. Yeah, I'd probably say survival. Nice. Nice. That will probably, that would probably do. Let's see. Um, the one time that it would be, so hang on, there is a spell trying to, this might be a non-issue. So let me see. Um, uh, oh, okay. Oh, wow. Okay, so it's a wow. Um, yeah, there is a spell that does it. Oh, that's so funny. Okay, I actually really like that. It is, yeah. Let me see. Find the path. Yeah. So, Lyrian is just like, "Oh, honey, don't worry about this. I think I know precisely where to go." And she does almost kind of like a tarot reading, but she just kind of like throws out some cards and they just hover in front of her as she casts this spell. And it's like she kind of like closes her eyes are fluttering a little bit, and uh, the incantation seems to be like charging this spell. And after she, flips over these cards, uh, there's kind of like this arcane flash in her eyes. You can kind of see it behind her eyelids. It says, "Ah, yes. Well, we will go this way. There's an access point over there somewhere. Um, Follow me." Okay. Yeah. Go ahead. Yeah. 15. Oh shit. Nice. Okay. Well, um Oh yeah, I forgot to do music. Oh well. Oh, yes. Nice. Um your honor. Is that like okay. Oh, you cut out there. But okay. So you follow Lyrian Orendale, and she guides you through a number of twists and turns. You get to an access point. Um and this part of town is not particularly nice. You are This access point is in the third tier, so you're in the bazaar, um, and it seems like it's uh, more or less kind of like right underneath the temple district, or like at least that quadrant of the second tier. Um, Sorry, there's just one other thing I've got to do. There we go. Uh oh, can you hear this? Okay. Well, all right. Anyways. Yeah, not the nicest part of town, not the nicest part of the bazaar. Um with your 17, like you are noticing that people notice you. Like the faculty members alone are kind of a little ostentatious for this area of town. um but you do see that Elise, however, has gotten the memo, and she, like, you never saw her stage change or anything like that, but from like one glance to another, she looks much more drab, a lot more common seeming. Um, yeah, yeah, yeah. You look. I mean, you do spot like there are people kind of on the streets, just kind of begging or just sitting out there in their own dispirited kind of way. It is kind of sad. Um, it looks like it's a poorer area, yeah, yeah, and so like there might be some people that would rather take advantage of you here, but you're also kind of like in a group that looks big enough, and you have what appears to be a couple of guards with you. So yeah. People people do kind of avoid you. Well, like they take a particular interest in you until they see the guard, and then they just, they immediately busy themselves with something else. Um, and except for, oh, sorry, go ahead. All right, I don't know that one, but that's funny. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's a good mental image. It's a little bit of that, yeah. But Aerith, you do notice that some of them don't immediately like turn away and look like they're minding their own business, or like are obviously not looking in your direction. Some of them are obviously looking in your direction, or trying to be clandestine about it, not succeeding very well. Um, at one point, you do notice like between a couple of what appear to be like um, urchins. Yeah, they're maybe, I don't know, in their early teens. Um, one of them whispers to another, and the other one runs off. And but like this guy, this one that did the whispering, like keeps tabs on you. He is following you for all intents and purposes. So okay, gives you a rude gesture. Yeah, 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 yeah. I mean, he wasn't necessarily being all that sneaky about it. Like it's, yeah, but yes, it was also kind of a, off to the side kind of a deal, and yeah, sneaky-ish, but not like sneaky sneaky. So yeah, yeah, you seen him. So you see that happen. Lyrian, oblivious to all of this, just waltzes her way down to an access point. It is shackled and locked. But she just casts knock, and the lock pops off, and or pops open rather, and yeah, it's like the daintiest touch and swish of her wand to the lock, but like there's this like little blue flare that kind of like comes off of the tip of her wand, and door opens. She's like, I never get to use these anymore. It's so nice to be able to use these spells. And so she picks the lock up and just kind of, well, she's nice about it. She opens the latch and hooks the lock in there. You know, some city employee is probably going to want to have that at some point. All right. She kind of does a little one of these and asks Radin if you would mind the great. And yeah. Of course. And he's like, all right, Carl, come on. And he gets down and takes kind of gets into a squat and like grabs the grate. But it is large. It is kind of like a large iron grate that has, you know, would bar most other entry aside from the lock. Yeah, but with Carl and Radin and Folion, you're able to easily move the grate out of the way. It is heavy, but yeah, it doesn't pose too much of a barrier without the lock. So, unobstructed, Lyrian walks right on through and continues to usher you all towards this Undercroft. Aerith, you do notice that there are a number of urchins that they don't follow you in, but they do kind of like gather at the entrance as you're walking on through. It's hard to say without asking them. Okay. Um yeah. Let's see. You get surface thoughts without any kind of detection. So unless they like revamped it in the new rules. Hang on, let me actually get that up. If let's see, you activate one of the following effects. So you sense the presence of thoughts within creature. The presence of thoughts. Okay. Within 30 feet of yourself that belong to creatures that know languages or are telepathic. You don't read thoughts, but you know that a thinking creature is present. And then there's, you know, rules for what would block that. Read thoughts. So target one creature you can see within 30 feet. Yeah. If the target doesn't know any languages, you learn nothing. As a magic action, so you can target that creature. No, that doesn't take anything. But as a magic action, on your next turn, you can try to probe deeper into the target's mind. If you probe deeper, the target makes a wisdom saving throw. On a failed save, you discern the target's reasoning, emotions, something that looms large in its mind. On a successful... Sorry. Not with the revamped spell. So I think that's the legacy one. So in the legacy version, you get surface slots without anything. Right. Oh. Oh yeah, you learn what is most on the target's mind right now. Okay, perfect. They kept that part of the spell. That was what I wanted to know. uh, okay. Um, there is. Let's see. You get like this I- idea of ooh. It's kind of an idea of like a mix of you shouldn't have done that and you're gonna learn kind of a thing. Uh, yeah, it's kind of a sense of like this kid is thinking like you don't know what you're messing with. Um, in like that very like street ruffian kind of bravado sort of way. Like it's like you have offered them a challenge and they are now um well, they're going to show you why you shouldn't have done that. One of them, a small boy, maybe like 10 or 11, he's like, yeah, oh, what you got? And another one just like kind of hits him, socks him in the shoulder. It's like, shh, it, like sizes you up a little bit. And obviously he's much shorter than you. And he's like, no, I think you're going to learn. And he's just like, come on. Like, um, make a uh make a persuasion check. Small cough. um uh so uh yeah. Okay. So the kid talking or who seems to be calling the shots here, um he turns to you. He stops, and he looks you up. He sizes you up again. Thinks about it for a second and says, "Well, that wasn't very wise of you. Not knowing where you're going out here, it's not a smart move. What kind of what kind of bad thing? What kind of very bad thing? Eat the rich, am I right? Are you offering the Gutterkin a take? For trespassing, oh, and leaving you alone in our territory. You leave whatever spoils are there. We do the clean pickings. I look, lady, how many of us do you think can read? You can take all the books and whatever's you want. Um, Elise, who has clearly talked to the other two faculty member by now and are now looking less ostentatious, um, they consult and say, it was a temple at one point, could house a number of sacred or powerful artifacts. It seems unwise to leave them in the care of such charming children. We ain't kids, you know. The streets make you grow up fast, lady. Of course, of course. Just takes 30 years. Yeah. That's good. That is good. Those are a lot of ores, lady. That I mean, by that calculation, could mean anything in there. That's not much of a tribute. Uh Look, we know how the world works. Money turns things, greases palms, keeps people out of our hair. Like, you just leave the gold, we'll be we'll be fine. Cobb is just like sobbing in frog. Just he like spits in his hand and yeah. All right. Okay. Go on. Yeah. I'll let them know ahead. You're coming. You won't see a hide, no hair of us. Okay. Just know, Gutterkin have eyes almost everywhere. You and a lot of people, lady. Yep. Okay. Yeah. And they just silently watch you, and they eventually dissipate, outside of the alley. Um, they do put the grate back over the access point, but yeah. I mean, you could also unlock it from the inside. It's not like the grate is going to prohibit you from reaching the lock. Yeah. Um, in any case, Lyrian goes, well, that was bracing. So, shall we continue? Yeah. Rendith is like, thank you. I would not have relished engaging literal children in combat. He concerns me a little bit, but Folion. He directs that towards Folion. But yeah. Folion said he didn't get to play. So yeah. Um yes. And this access point, I mean, you're still like maybe a mile, maybe a little over a mile out from like being in the vicinity of the Temple of Scepter. So um there's a ways to go, but Lyrian has the lock on where to go, how to get there. And so she does take you very, very succinctly through these catacombs. And this is very clearly an ancient space. Like, it smells old down here. And it smells of many other things down here. It is very, in a very real sense, part of the sewers, but it is cavernous. Like, there is a lot of worked stone here, but you can also see like stalactites forming and all kinds of different types of rock that are just kind of growing and accumulating over time from the various dirt and refuse that gets passed down here. And oh, excuse me. You can even see efforts to clean this space out and keep it serviceable. But yeah, those are, I mean, at least the traces of those of that stuff is not recent. So, in a matter of half an hour or so, picking and choosing your way through, avoiding several pitfalls, Lyrian guides you without issue, without even seeing another urchin in this space, to a collapsed tunnel. Like, you can see masonry that has kind of buckled in and out. There is what looks to be like a hole that has been braced open or happened, it fell in such a way that there's some kind of an opening through this space, but it is not exactly steady. There's like several hands that go up. I don't know if mending is quite going to do the trick for this one. I had that thought. Yes, I did as well. But if we don't do it correctly, we may bring more of this wall down. Well, let's see. What level is this? Okay. Okay. Oh. Yeah, this one is a little bit more um yeah. Uh you don't sound distorted to me. Um yeah. I mean, I've got one going too, but I don't know. We'll see. So, Rendeith, he pulls out a cube of granite. It's a small little cube of granite, and he's like, he makes some small gestures and incants for a few phrases, and well, Brixta, since the incantation is done in the language of magic, which, unbeknownst to them, is Draconic. Uh, you hear like bits of phrases that don't seem to make a lot of sense, but you get the sense that this is something to do with stone and investing in stone and building it up. It feels very much like me do thing. It feels very cavemanish in a sense. It's a very rudimentary use of this language, but it does the trick because in there's two slabs of rock that rise up from the ground up to the ceiling, which is not too far away. It rises maybe about 15 feet, and it looks like it's bracing this portion of wall. And then Rendeith looks at the rest of the party and says, "All right, hopefully this can brace whatever we need to as we remove this rubble." And he and the other mages get to work molding earth and drawing away the rubble. The masonry they can't move with mold earth, but it falls away freely as they move the debris out of it. And Radin and Carl get to work kind of like putting the masoned stones aside to make the opening much more clear. And yes. Yeah. And very clearly, these two stone walls seem to do the trick in holding up whatever wants to come tumbling down here. Um, Rendith does say, it's like, all right, well, we have 10 minutes before the rest of this, before my walls disappear. So, we should move quickly. Yes. Yeah. And you find yourselves in the Undercroft of a very old temple. It Some of the stuff in here looks very like roughly carved out, and you see coffins and various materials down here for burial rites, and several altars here and there to the goddess of light. But there's not a lot of light down here. Sorry, I lost the last half of that. That would stand out. Okay. Anything in the room that would stand out. And like in what kind of sense? What are you hoping for? Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah. Anything that, yeah. Okay. Sure. Um, make a, let's do this a perception check. Yeah. Okay. Um, One of the things you do notice is that this place is ancient. It feels ancient. Um, like this, could it have been 200 years ago? Possibly. Um, but it doesn't look like it's been used in quite some time. Um, you do notice that there are a series of footprints down here that seem more recent, but they follow a kind of like a very prescribed line, and it looks like they go to the wall and back, to the wall you came in from and then back. One of the other things that you do notice is that a lot of the coffins seem to be preserved by some means. They seem to have weathered this time down here, at least, better than, say, some of the stairs or railings or other furniture. Whether that's because they weren't used as much or, they're protected magically, unknown, unclear. But a lot of these coffins do have inscriptions on them or notes with them or some manner of record on them. And one of the things that kind of catches your eye is a coffin that is dated very near to the Dawnbreak event. So we're talking like a few years after the war. And it talks about, how good of a servant of Scepter this person was and how generous he was in his offerings of grain and supplication. And it gives you the sense that Scepter, like 200 years ago, really required a lot more of an offering from people. That's about the only like thing of note that's like really catching your eye. Yes, it would be. The name is Sir Ian Graxton. Grack. Graxton. Sure. Yeah. So as you, uh, yep. And Rendeeth is critiquing your form all the way through. It's like, no, a little bit this way, incant like this, and like he's, instructing you as, yeah, yeah. Um, yeah, you get the sense that he doesn't necessarily turn off his Master of Novices thing. Um, so, uh, yeah, he, you cast the spell after 11 minutes or so, or 10 minutes or whatever it is. And yeah, I think it's an action to cast. So yeah, like 10 in 6 seconds, whatever. And the the room doesn't necessarily light up, but there's like a faint aura of magic on these coffins. You get the sense that these coffins are enchanted um, with enchantment magic to preserve them. You don't find any coffins in here that aren't enchanted. Uh, Specifically from like the times of their life that are preserved as well below their names. Um, yeah, you get the sense that a lot of these are from they were born like 220 years ago or something like that, or 210 years ago, and died either during the war, within those first 10 years, or um, after the war. So, well, it, well, I can, but it is not something that I've particularly prepared for this moment. um, or wait, that's a ritual spell, isn't it? No, that's a ritual spell, isn't it? She probably could, especially since, yeah, the wall has definitely fallen, and um, I guess it's not a ritual spell. To be honest, it wasn't something that I was expecting to have to do here. Um, Much of what I have prepared is more to keep you all alive and potentially banish this thing. Hopefully, if this all goes well, yes. I mean, this might even come. Well, I'm hopefully optimistic that this comes with city recognition. So, oh, so the same magic that preserves them seems to keep the coffins closed, sealed. Yeah. It's unclear. Yeah. Uh excuse me. Um Elves do become ancient, but yeah. Yes, that's true. Ancient ancient was more of just like a descriptor, like it's yeah. Definitely it was absolutely not ageism. uh okay. Um uh, yeah. Yeah. If we're going by scale, yes. Okay. Um all right. So, Lyrian asks the group, it's like, so are we ready to continue? We have further to go. Mm-hmm. Okay. So you climb some rickety stairs. Um and uh you come out into an area that looks like a lot of storage was like this area was probably something else at one point and has been repurposed for storage. You see casks of wine. You see for like ceremonial purposes, obviously. You see scriptures and scrolls and a lot of old material kept down here. Not necessarily like old and subsequently dangerous material, like nothing super useful as you peruse. But yeah, seems like there was a different perspective of Scepter 200 from even 200 years ago than there is now. Kind of like Scepter was more austere, more demanding at one point. And so as you then leave this area, there seems to be kind of a well-lit area up ahead. It doesn't look like this place has many doors, just doorways. And so you come from a room here, and then at the other end of it, let me move my hands. There we go. At the other end of it, there's like a doorway here. Lots of storage all around. And yeah, that's where the well-lit area is. It's like directly in front of you. You do see kind of like a raised platform and banister, a set of stairs that would go up there off to another part. But ahead in this illuminated space, it seems well kept. Like there's from what you can spy, you can see like some seating, you can see and it looks fairly plush. There's carpets. Looks to be like it's walled with books. Kind of looks like a library, a cozy library from your vantage point. You also have advantage if the hood is up. Hmm. Hmm. That's a good question. Like a religion check? Is that what you're asking for? Oh, okay. Yeah. Nice. Uh, doesn't your armor give you disadvantage? Okay, perfect. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Perfect. Oh gosh. Okay, so Elise got a 20, nat 20. Um, let's see, Lyrian got A 15. Let's just call it a 15. Yeah. Um, I'm gonna say Carl got the 2. Yeah, Rendith didn't do too much better. 7 for Rendith, and then a 12 for Radin. So what did the rest of the party get? Oh yeah, Cobb. Let's do Cobb. He has advantage because he's being carried, so he's not like moving around a bunch. Got a 13. Sorry, Folion, what was yours? Nice. Okay. Um, okay. So, by and large, you are a stealthy party. Like some of you that, like, you manage to, Aerith, you manage to like stealth in such a way that you're not jingling at all or anything like that. You're making very very little noise. Um, and whether that's the cloak or just your stealthy acumen, um, you're doing well, and so well that you don't even notice Elise right behind you, who is doing equally well. And Folion, who is a little ahead of you. And yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah. And then Carl like knocks over a bunch of boxes, and everybody's just like shh. And like there's like 3 mage hands like try to like keep the stuff from clattering around a bunch, and um moderately successfully. um yeah, Rendith and Carl are just kind of like looking a little sheepish. um so in response, oh yeah, and Lyrian is doing fine, but in response, um Rendith casts invisibility. Uh, and he, let's see, you can target multiple targets if you cast it higher, right? Yes. Yeah. So Rendith is going to cast invisibility on himself and Carl, um, just to, you know, maybe help things. And um, it does help. Um, and you do see somebody, kind of at the sound, come and darken the doorway and look into this space. Um, he doesn't see pretty much anybody else. And since Rendith and Carl are invisible, he doesn't see them. Uh, or, yeah, the figure doesn't default to he, I guess. But this person lingers for a few moments. There's a tension there that builds, and then turns away and goes back to whatever she was doing in the room. What are you all doing? So you can go straight across, or you could take the stairs up to kind of a second level. It's like a half step up. And there's another area up there that leads through another doorway, which seems dark and unused, and only one person came. Yeah, you only saw one figure. Okay. Yeah, give me a perception check. Cool. So with a 15, you peer into the room, and this room is kind of plush. Like you've got like red gold carpets, red upholstered chairs, little end tables. Um, there is atop the bookshelves is a banistered walkway that you can climb a ladder, get up to. There's more books up there. So this is a fairly substantial little library down here. In this library, you see several people, actually. Let me... Only it would save what I was working on last. That'd be great. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So in this library, you see who you presume to have been the person who came and checked on you. He's just sitting in one of these comfy chairs, conversing with another person. You see 4 other individuals. A couple of them are walking the banister. You can hear the ones above you. A couple more walking the banister. And then you see someone he seems very lost in thought, a very aged individual, but his robes are just immaculate. Like his garb is much... fancier is not the word, but like more he seems more prestigious, right? As an individual. Were you with... No, you weren't with Aerith when she met the Radiant, right? She was taken away to a separate room. Yeah, I mean, chapel, atrium, whatever. I guess the cathedral. Okay. Oh wait, not Bahamut. Yeah, this was... yeah. So if you were there, you would recognize this individual. Would you do you take note of names of people, like as a character? Would you have like note? Yeah. So you recognize him as like the person that gave a blessing to your friend, at which, you know, that blessing seemed counterfeit to your friend. But you don't remember his title or his name. But yeah, he's... you... Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, and he's just kind of pacing back and forth between these very ostentatious double doors. They seem to have like red glass windows, or maybe they're made of rubies. It's unclear. And it's a gilded, a gold gilded door with rich carvings depicting the goddess of light. Um, so this seems to be a very opulent door for probably very important purposes. So yeah, and he's just kind of pacing back and forth. He's very much in his own head. Seems to be lost in thought. Okay. That sounds wrong coming from a church-like faith. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, roll for me insight as well. Okay. So the the insight that you gain from observing these individuals for the time that you do, um, is that we'll call him the Radiant, just because you may not remember that, but that's who we're talking about. He seems worried about something. Um, the others in the room don't waver a bit. Like, they do not seem worried. They do not seem put out. They actually have like this fervor. There's kind of like a this you can almost see the zeal in their eyes, kind of a thing. Like, they don't seem healthily well adjusted people. Um, but they are nonetheless, you expect, very committed and very for the cause kind of people. And they seem very much on alert for something. Okay. Yeah. So you go ahead and sneak on over to the other entrance to this room. Um, and in there, you find, uh, well, things that you first. The first two things that you notice are that there are two people in this room, that are standing around what look to be a bunch of cruel looking implements. Um, and there does seem to be like a chair in this room that the floor around has been very stained. Um, the other thing that you notice is that in this room, it is semi-large, not incredibly large, but in this room there is also a number of steel cages. Uh, and not all of them are unoccupied. They look a bit rough, like they've come from a rough life, and have, um, you see that same like fervor in their eyes, that same kind of zeal, um, and yeah, they look like they could be dangerous. You see, Folion returns back with a report of 3 people in the cages. It does have another door to this room. It does not seem to connect with the other room, however. You hear Cobb rib it up, and he's like, well, question: what's the possibility of perhaps them taking these prisoners hostage while we're dealing with other problems? Rendith is like, yeah, I have that prepared. Okay. Um, this is gonna be funny. Uh, let's see. I might actually stop it here before we actually go into combat. Yeah, because this has run a little longer than I anticipated, but yeah, I at least wanted to get you up to the point of where things would get rolling. So, um, okay, that's not what I want. Okay, well, yeah. A safe area is going to be an interesting prospect, but perhaps one of the faculty members can remain behind to protect them, safeguard them. We could do that. Yeah. That's definitely a ritual spell if I remember correctly. So it is such an awesome spell. Yeah. Right. Exactly. Cool. Okay, so you guys prepare the whole your whole first round. Like you're gonna get some surprise and probably clean this up relatively quickly, unless it becomes a barnyard brawl or something like that. Um, exactly. Yeah. And so Rendith, he does as quietly as he can. Actually, I don't know if silence requires verbal components. Um, oh, wait. Okay. So silence is verbal and somatic, but that's okay. He's creating the field. So um, he, in a burst of magic, he casts the spell in this 20-foot radius, which fills a good portion of this room. Um, and everybody gets ready to go in. So we'll start next session with initiative, and then we'll, yeah, go into fighting a couple of cultists. So, yeah. You can just stand outside of the bubble and just cast into it, you know? Yeah. Yeah. Uh, you don't have to go, yeah, you don't have to go in. So, okay. Yeah. Non-lethal. uh yeah, we'll try to just put them to sleep. Cool. All right. Well, I'll see you guys in a couple of weeks. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. 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 Except murder, but not murder. Yeah, basically. We're getting some closure on some things. Yeah, yeah. We're getting there. It's happening. Great game, guys. Bye bye.